Every morning, Skippy John Jones woke up with the birds. This did not please his mother at all. "Get yourself down here right now, Mr. Kitten Britches," ordered Mama Junebug Jones. "No self-respecting cat ever slept with a flock of birds," she scolded, "or ate worms, or flew, or did his laundry in Mrs. Doohiggy's bird bath." The lecture went on and on as usual. "You've got some serious thinking to do before you leave this room, Mr. Fuzzy Pants," said his mother, "about just what it means to be a cat, not a bird, not a mouse, or a grouse, or a moose, or a goose, not a rat or a bat. You need to think about just what it means to be a Siamese cat. Stay out of your closet," she added, closing the bedroom door. But once he was alone, Skippy John Jones began to bounce and bounce and bounce on his big boy bed. "Oh, I'm Skippy John Jones, and I bounce on my bed, and once or 6 times I land on my head." On his way down to earth from that gigantic big bounce, Skippy John Jones shot past his bedroom mirror. "Holy guacamole!" exclaimed Skippy John Jones. "What was that?" So up he went again, and again it appeared. Then, using his very best Spanish accent, he said, "My ears are too big for my head. My head is too big for my body. I am not a Siamese cat. I am a Chihuahua." Back on land, Skippy John Jones climbed into his toy box and rifled through some of his old junk. After he put on his mask and sword and climbed onto his mouse, Skippy John Jones began to sing in a muy soft voice. "My name is Scapito Fresquito. I fear not a single pandito. My manners are mellow. I'm sweet like the jello. I get the job done, so dido." Back in the kitchen, Jujubee, Jezebel, and Jilly Boo Jones were helping Mama Junebug Jones make lunch. "Can Skippy John Jones come out of his room now?" asked Jujubee. "No," answered Mama Junebug Jones. "Mr. Fluffernutter is still thinking." In fact, Skippy John wasn't thinking about being a Siamese cat at all. With a walk into his closet, his thoughts took him down a lonesome desert road, far, far away from old Mexico. Not long into his journey, a mysterious band of Chihuahuas appeared in the dust. "Ay, caramba! Who goes there?" said Skippy John Jones. "We go by the name of Los Chimichangas," growled Don Diego, the biggest of the small ones. "Who are you?" "I'm El Scapito, the great sword fighter," said Skippy John Jones. Then the smallest of the small ones spoke up. "Why the mosquito, dude?" asked Poquito Tito. "I go incognito," said Scapito. "Do you like rice and beans?" asked Pintalito. "See, I love mice and beans," said Scapito. "He might be the dog of our dreams," whispered Rosalita. "Perhaps," said Tia Mia, "if he knows the secret password." Leaning towards Don Diego, El Scapito half sneezed, half spoke the secret password into the Chihuahua's very large ear. "Achoo Pichu!" "Bless you," said Don Diego. "Gracias," said Scapito. "Then it is true," decreed Don Diego. "Yippee, yippito, it's the end of Alfredo Bozito. Scapito is here, we have nothing to fear. Adios to the bad Bumblebeeto." Then all of the chimichangas went crazy loco. First they had a fiesta. Then they took a siesta. But after waking up, the chimichangos got down to serious business. Using his paw, Don Diego drew a picture in the sand of the great Bumblebeeto for Scapito to see. A hush grew over the chimichangos, so great that one could hear a whisker drop. "Alfredo Pasito," whispered the crowd. "El Blimpo Bumblebeeto Patito." "See," said Poquito Tito, "the bandito steals our frijoles." "Not your beans!" cried Scapito, outraged. "See," Poquito continued, "red beans, black beans, Boston baked and blue, cocoa, coffee, kidney beans, pinto, and jelly too." "And now he comes for us," Poquito added. "Por qué?" asked Scapito. "Because we are full of beans too." Then Don Diego stood tall and in his most somber voice declared, "Yo quiero frijoles." "Huh?" asked Scapito. "The dude just wants his bean back," said Poquito Tito. "And you are the dog of the job." "Me?" asked Scapito. Then all of the chimichangos turned towards Scapito, the great sword fighter. But poor Scapito had no time for a plan, because in the blink of an eye a gigantic shadow darkened the landscape. The chimichangos scattered in all directions. "Vamos, Scapito, or it is you the bandito will eat," they cried. Scapito stood his ground, but His legs shimmied and shook like the jello, and his teeth chattered like the castanets. Then, in a muy soft voice, he said, "My name is Copito Frisquito. I fear not a single bandito." But Alfredo Bazito flew straight for Scipio, until bean-eating Bandito hovered only inches away from the great sword fighter's face. "Hole frijoles!" cried Scipio as he thrust his sword into the air. Suddenly, pop went the Bandito, landing on Scipio's sword, and quicker than one could say, "Chihuahuas, cheese, and crackers," every kind of bean came spilling out of Alfredo Bazito, the Bumblebito Bandito. Then all the Toggies burst into song. "Yippee, yippee, yippito! Our hero is El Scipito. He's the dog of our dreams who delivered the beans, and now we can make our burritos." But back at home, there was such a ruckus coming from Skippy John's room that Mama Junebug Jones and the girls had to find out what was going on. They raced down to the hall to the kitty boy's room. "Benquito, Crashito, Papito, Skipito!" Just in time to see Skippy John's closet exploding. Then out flew Candy, Beanbag Doggies, and the kitty boy with his birthday piñata on his head. "Skippy John Jones!" everybody cried. "Hole muchitas," he said in a muy soft voice. Mama Junebug Jones lifted up Skippy John and covered his head with furry purry kisses. "What am I going to do with you, Mr. Cocoa Pug?" she scolded. That night, when he was supposed to be going to sleep, Skippy John began to bounce and bounce on his big boy bed. "Oh, I'm Skippy John Jones with a mind of my own. I bounce on my bed for hours. I know I'm a cat, but forget about that." "Say good night, Skippy John Jones," called his mom. "Buenos noches, mis amigos," said Skippy John Jones.